Spiritual Living, Port Angeles, on another beautiful Thursday evening. I'm Reverend Tricia Burson-Johnson, Rev T, as you know, but for those who don't. So our opening song is I Send My Love Over the Mountain.
My love over the mountain, I send my love over the sea, I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. Joy, I send my joy over the mountains, I send my joy over the sea, I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. Peace, I send my peace over the mountains, I send my peace over the sea, I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. Power, I send my power over the mountain, I send my power over the sea, I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me. Love, I send my love over the mountains, I send my love over the sea, I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
So we just take that breath that brings us present as our greeter dog greets our next guest. We are reading our vision and our mission, which are in our program in the foldable part. Our vision. We are an open, safe, creative, and spiritual community where we experience divine love and connection every day. Our mission. Through spiritual, artistic, and social gatherings, we experience and express divine love. Our intentions create ripples of compassion into the world. Thank you. We have a few announcements. We have actually a lovely group of activities coming up. We have our Open Men's Circle, which is going to be this Saturday, which will be the first Saturday in July. Wow, that's coming up fast. And that is facilitated by Uric. This is an open men's group, obviously for men. So we invite you to check that out, 10 a.m. till noon, this coming Saturday, and again on the 15th of July. We have Workshop Wednesdays coming up. I'm facilitating a series of workshops, but they are also standalone, so you can come to all of them or one of them. The next one is focusing on health, so check that out, 7 to 9 on the 14th of 12th of July. We have our drumming on the second Friday of each month coming up, and that will be from 7 until 8:30 p.m., second Friday every month drumming. And our Women's Wisdom group is the second Saturday of each month, and that's from noon until 2 p.m. We also have a big party happening in July. In conjunction with Interfaith Community of Clallam County, which we are a part of, they started sort of officially about a year ago, as did we. We finally got up here to the Olympic Peninsula, and so we're having an anniversary party on July 29th from 1 till 5 p.m. There'll be live music, it'll be a potluck, there'll be all kinds of really cool things going on. So make sure to pick up a flyer in the back of the room, pass them out to your friends, invite anyone. All are welcome, and it's going to be really a lot of fun. So definitely check that out. I invite up Reverend Dr. Clancy Blakemore for our opening reading, our time of silence, and the brief affirmative prayer.
Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind and Spirit, wrote, "I give thanks to my inner life for all of its marvelous wonders and for all of its wonderful works. I will sing and be glad, for I know that I am hidden with truth in a perfect life." Hidden with truth in a perfect life. Let us just contemplate that for a few moments. And the vibration of the crystal bowl reminds us of the energy that is limitless in its potential. It is that one by so many names around the earth. It is that vitality, that balance, the harmony. It is the joy of that creation. And because it is the one creative essence, the power and the principle, the presence, it moves in and through all of its creations, and so I know it moves in and through all of life, everywhere, through everyone in the sound of my voice and beyond and beyond and beyond. Because there is no distance, no geography in spirit. I know and affirm that that same energy and balance and harmony and joy, that vitality of the creation, is moving in and through this gathering right here and now. And it moves individually, uniquely, through each of its expressions. I know that we come together in this communion, this congregation, this communication, which simply means to breathe together. Now, ultimate spiritual support. I'm so grateful this is a truth. I can simply let it be, hand it over to Spirit, as simply as Spirit says yes at that which is reflected in its mirror of life, and accepts those seeds of truth which have been planted in the fertile soil of Spirit. It is good and very good, and so it is.
So it is.
Selfish and mean, a nag and a bitch. I don't pull my weight and act like a witch. I'm separate and distant, refusing to cross the divide that's between us. And I think I'm the boss. I'm guilty and shameful and often feel wrong. I blame it on you, but it's me all along. I beat myself up for the dark thoughts inside. When I forget truth, I just want to hide. My first reaction is to just disappear. And I'm tired of living with this kind of fear. The standards I strive for seem just out of reach. I put my madness on a pedestal, and that's not what I teach. The truth is much bigger, much more than I feel. I'm unlocking a me that's authentic and real. I'm an ocean of kindness and a love deep and wide. Each turn of the spiral reveals what's inside. Beauty and power, abundance and grace, passion and humor and plenty of space. All the dark and the light, all the grumbles and bliss, we are revealed in the wholeness of this. The truth is much bigger, much more than I feel. I'm unlocking a me that's authentic and real. I'm an ocean of kindness and a love deep and wide. Each turn of the spiral reveals what's inside. Beauty and power, abundance and grace, passion and humor and plenty of space. All the dark and the light, all the grumbles and bliss, we are revealed in the wholeness of this. We are revealed in the wholeness of this. So that was my week. And that was inspired by my week. And moving through my week. Mostly the last couple of days. Yesterday, I was talking to Reverend Dr. Clancy Blakemore and saying, I don't know if I can come up with a talk tomorrow. I'm a mess. Can you just dig in your files and find one and talk tomorrow? And of course, she said yes. And of course, I worked through my stuff. And I'm here. Now, in this. So the talk title tonight, Madness on a Pedestal, is a phrase that I heard sometime a couple weeks ago, and I can't even remember the context, but the phrase stuck in me, and I went, ooh, that's a good talk title. And I remember typing it in my phone in my notes section. What does that mean, madness on a pedestal? It resonated with me. Well, I'll get into that a little bit later. The last few days have felt like days of madness for me. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in my brain, in my think box. I've had, yet again, that dark night feeling, which has happened again and again and again in my lifetime. And I was writing my talk, and I wrote dark night, like, you know, the Knights of the Round Table. And I went, wait, that's not right. Oh, wait, maybe it is. So I thought, there's a reason I wrote dark night. So I looked up, what is the significance of the dark or black night? I thought there's a reason I wrote that, so let's look it up. Well, a knight, of course, as we know, is a symbol of strength and bravery. The black night is associated with death and darkness. But all knights, including black knights, are highly ethical, and they have a code of conduct and kind of like a process that is very strict in their code. the way they go through things, the steps they do, the way that they have their chivalry, even the Black Knight associated with death and darkness. So I went, that's interesting, because it feels that the dark night of the soul also has a code of ethics, if that makes any sense. If there's a process to it. There's something that happens that shakes us from our stable mooring, our sense of being grounded, we know who we are. At least this is for me. I'm guessing it's for you too. But there's this sense of I got knocked off what I know to be true about myself, what I know to be true. Oftentimes I'll know it here, but I'll forget it in my heart, my soul, my beingness. And that brings me to a dark night experience, when I forget what I know at the core of my being. I also feel, and this is where the pedestal part comes in, that sometimes I'll say sometimes I wear my brokenness or my suffering like a badge of honor. Like, oh, well, I've had all these experiences, or, well, my brokenness is better than your brokenness. It's this weird thing that we seem to do as if our brokenness or our suffering somehow is validating of who we are. Does that make sense? We carry it around with us. Oh, well, let me tell you my story. And then you'll know what a deep person I am, or something. There's something there. This quote that I found today, it is only when we are truly alone, without someone else to lean on, left with our own inner solitude, that we can undergo a process of change. Now, I don't know that that means alone in our life, but we have to spend time alone to undergo a process of change. When I'm with others, I'm at some level reflecting what they think of me and absorbing what they think of me, and it's harder for me to examine myself as an observer when I'm taking in the data, even just the vibrations and the input of people who know me. So I think it is vital for us to spend time alone. And being alone is where our boogeymen come out. When we're alone for a while, our boogeymen will show up. The doubts, the fears, the false beliefs, or just the really old beliefs that we think we've handled. I thought I dealt with that already. I thought that was gone. Oh no, here it is again, in your face. Sometimes, usually unexpectedly. Has it ever shown up expectedly? I don't think so. I love when people say, well, that was an unexpected accident. Well, do we expect accidents? I don't think so. So that was an unexpected dark night of the soul. Well, we don't plan for these things. I didn't plan to be in this feeling of crisis this week. It wasn't on my calendar. So this quote also says, the introspection that is needed, this solitude, this introspection is needed to bring out the light that has dwindled down to ash and reignite the fire of our being. So let the darkness shape you. Let it reform you. Let it cradle you and birth you into a new life. Let the spark flame again. In the darkness is where you will find it. I hate these dark nights of the soul. I hate them. And yet, they seem to be somehow necessary in our evolution as spiritual human beings. There needs to be some shaking up of the old paradigm to relook yet again at what is it I really want? Who do I really think I am? What's really going on? So the pedestal idea for me is that we seem to raise up our pain, our suffering, our stories, our madness. We seem to put them up higher. We raise them up over our joy, our peace, our present moment, our clarity, as if it is more important or meaningful, as if difficult equals valuable. If we're going through life just joyful, peaceful, present in the moment and clear, somehow we discount that experience. I know I have discounted that experience. Oh, that's just a regular day. And then something comes along that is not comfortable, not preferred, as Ernest Holmes would say, and that suddenly seems very important. I find it curious that we don't place the equal amount of importance on our joy and our peace and our happiness and our grace and our beauty and our abundance and the truth of who we are. As soon as something comes along that looks unlike that, it's like this other stuff gets forgotten and we put this crazy, the madness, up on the pedestal. Now I'm going to focus on you, and you are very important. It's very helpful for me, for us, I believe, to have people around us to just listen. When we get caught in the madness of our thinking, it's very challenging to get out of the hamster wheel thoughts so we can look at them. So journaling is great if we have absolutely no one who will listen to us, but I don't think that's true here. And just finding someone to just listen. Not to fix it, or try to make it go away, or change your experience, because that dark time is birthing something for us. Clearly, or we wouldn't be having it. So to try to say, well, let's just do this and make that feeling go away, discounts there is value in this place, in this darkness, in this madness. But it is not who we are. It is a transitory state that we are moving through. I love the phrase, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We walk through it. We don't make a condo and stay there. We keep going forward, even when we want to run or hide. Even then. Anthony St. Martin, who wrote a book called Divine Living, if we never experience the chill of a dark winter, it is very unlikely that we will ever cherish the warmth of a bright summer's day. Nothing stimulates our appetite for the simple joys of life more than the starvation caused by sadness or desperation. In order to complete our amazing life journey successfully, it is vital that we turn each and every dark tear into a pearl of wisdom and find the blessing in every curse. I love that expression. Every dark tear turned into a pearl of wisdom. Ooh, I want to see a painting of that. I think that would be incredible. I have noticed that every time I'm on the cusp of something that is stretching me more, making me go deeper and wider into the truth and authentic nature of who I really am, the divine in form, a beloved of the beloved, that I have this experience of this dark night. I put my madness on a pedestal and I focus on what's wrong, what's missing, what's not enough, usually me. I'm going for ordination panels in about 3 weeks. Ordination is the final step in my ministerial path. Well, there's never a final step, but that's the final official step in my ministerial path. And so what I've noticed is every step along my ministry that I've taken, I've had one of these dark night moments, days. Usually it doesn't last more than a day or two. But when they happen, they're big and uncomfortable and sudden, and there are a lot of tears. And a lot of frustration and madness. It's shown up as Bell's palsy twice on my face. It's shown up as, I can't do this, it's impossible, it's too hard, who do I think I am, what am I doing, I'll just go have a regular life. All these stories we tell ourselves because it's too scary to step into what is calling us next. A little something bigger, a little something more, something different from how we've been before. The other thing that happens for me and maybe for you is this idea that my pain, when I'm in the midst of this dark night, my pain and my suffering, if I try to compare it to somebody else, it never measures up. Because my life really is pretty spectacular. You know, I look around and I feel stupid and petty for feeling bothered at all, because I've got a pretty darn good life. And that just creates that cycle even worse. So I'm stupid and petty because I have the feelings I'm feeling. And that starts the cycle again. If we're having a feeling, negating that feeling, or saying I shouldn't have that feeling, just creates more of it. So, feel it. All of it. Yesterday was not pretty. Yesterday my eyes were puffy. And then things shifted. Started to let go. I think sometimes that crying or yelling or beating on a pillow help us to move through this dark night time. So anytime we want to compare our pain, I vividly remember seeing a TED Talk about a woman who had a really, if you look at the data, a really torturous life. And she did the same exact thing. She said, compared to this person that I know, my pain is nothing. And then I had the epiphany, pain is pain. To try to compare our pain to somebody else's pain is ridiculous. Because pain is pain. It hurts. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, it hurts. When we take our pain and we fash about it, we take it in as truth, that's when it becomes suffering. When we can have our pain and say, oh, here's my pain, we remove it from inside of ourselves, and we can look at it, oh, my pain, this is my pain. Let me just look at this for a little bit. Let me work with it like clay. We don't have to have it be who we are, which causes suffering. And that's what I was feeling. This is who I am. All those things I sang about. That's who I felt like yesterday. Is that the truth of me? No. I think we've all had those times where we're not enough, where we're just intrinsically wrong. There's just something intrinsically wrong about me, and I can't fix it. Well, maybe we're not supposed to. Maybe we're supposed to look at it and let it be the dark tear that becomes a pearl of wisdom. It helps to reveal, oh, yeah, I still believe that. This Zen master said, a Zen master's life is one continuous mistake. I thought that was great. One continuous mistake. Ernest Holmes says there are no mistakes, and so looking at that quote, I would, shift it just a bit, but it's one continuous research and development, one continuous experiment. Is that working? No? Well, let's try that. Oh, how about that? Okay, that feels better. Let's try this. It's one continuous experiment over and over again. This theory that we are on an upward spiral in our life, continually evolving and growing and stretching. So the spiral starts small and then it works its way up, each coil of the spiral getting bigger and broader and wider. And what I know about the spiral from personal experience is that when we start off life, I think we come in sometimes to this life with our particular thing, our particular issue, our particular burden. Mine seemed to be, I'm not enough. And I don't know where it came from, and I spent hours and years of my life trying to pinpoint the moment. No, it doesn't matter where it came from. It doesn't matter if we came in with it, that maybe it was our soul's journey to learn it this time. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is in the beginning, when our spiral is little and we have our issue, we bump into it a lot. We bump into it frequently. Oh, there's my issue again. There's my not enough again. There's the evidence that proves it. And then something happens, a little dark night of the soul happens, and somehow we are willing to pop through the other side of this belief, and we move up on the level of the spiral. So now the spiral coil is bigger, and somewhere in there, boom, we're going to run into that issue again. But it's a little longer this time. It wasn't every 2 years, but now it's every 5 years that we bump into that issue. Because we're a little bit further along on the spiral. But there it is again. It shows up in a different face, a different relationship, a different job, a different person, a different experience of, I'm not enough. We pop through, dark night of the soul, yet again, pop through, oh, bigger level of the spiral. No, now it's only every 7 years or every 10 years that, oh, there it is again. The frustrating thing is we keep thinking we're done with it. Oh, I've left that one behind. And then we keep facing it yet again and again. Former minister of mine said, you know, ministers don't have it all figured out. We definitely don't have it all figured out. We don't have all our ducks in a row. We're not, you know, walking through life every moment in bliss. And we've got deep training and a recognition more quickly of, oh, that's what's going on now. Oh, I can see that's what's going on now. So there seems to be a quicker bounce back or a quicker recovery than there used to be. And I've witnessed that a lot. And anyone who's doing a lot of spiritual work, there seems to be that tendency that, oh, there's my issue again. And after a while, it's like, oh, hello, old friend, where have you been? Haven't seen you in 3 years. Let's talk. You know, and then we get beat up by it. Why? I thought I dealt with you. No, we're here again to move through so we can pop up to the next level. Joseph Campbell said the dark night of the soul comes just before a revelation, when everything is lost and all seems darkness. Then comes the new life and all that is needed. I like that. Just before a revelation. So, in the midst of the dark night, maybe we can have a moment of, oh, I'm having a really bad time here, and I'm curious what the revelation is going to be. I'm curious to see how that's going to show up, because I know this is just before the revelation. Joseph Campbell said so. He's a pretty smart guy. We look up. Instead of putting our madness on a pedestal, what else can we look up to? What can we put on a pedestal instead? Now, you know, we've heard a lot of times in society, don't put me up on a pedestal, because then I'm sure to fall off. But we can put a higher truth, a bigger reality, capital R reality, capital T truth. We can put that up on the pedestal. We can look up to it. In neuro-linguistic programming, in neuroscience, they are finding great efficacy in people's lives just by the practice of looking up. Instead of looking down at our feet or at the ground, look out. If you're outside and you're in a place where it's safe to, look up. And if you're walking and you need to see where you're going, you can keep, glance down occasionally, but at least keep your head up. Don't be doing this. Because when we look down, we feel down. It's been proven in scientific experiments. When we look up, we say, in our language, things are looking up. It's all over our languaging. So there's a reason for that. So what can we place in front of us in our vision, in our field of vision, to have us look up, to have us seek a higher point of view? Spirit, this presence is not up out there somewhere. That's not what I'm talking about. But we're looking up to something bigger than ourselves, some bigger reality, some bigger truth beyond our human stuff that's going on. We can look to the beauty and the passion and the power, the grace that shows up all the time in incredible ways. I'd like to close tonight with a little meditation, so I invite you to close your eyes if you choose. This was written by one of our ministers in our movement, and it went around on an email this week, and it is pretty perfect for today. Before you close your eyes, sorry, I had you close your eyes too early. Before you close your eyes, I just invite you to look around outside. Take in the beauty. Take in the sunlight bouncing off the trees. Take in the gorgeous flowers that we picked from our garden today. Now take a breath and close your eyes. It's so easy sitting here to see, feel, know, and understand the majesty and sacredness of all life. To feel caressed and embraced by the grace of the divine. There is no moment other than this moment. And in this moment, I drop in deeply into the oneness, which is the truth of my being. I drop into stillness. My heartbeat becomes the universal heartbeat. I don't need to know anything, because as this heartbeat, I am part of all-knowing oneness. I can just be. All veils are removed from my eyes. All crusty layers of pain, betrayal, disillusion dissolve from my heart. My heart and soul filled instead with love, joy, and bliss. With each breath, I sink into it more deeply. My mind is quiet, and my heart and soul sing in gratitude. And so it is. Thank you. Ernest Holmes. I give thanks to my inner life for all its marvelous wonders and for all its wonderful works. I will sing and be glad, for I know that I am hidden with truth in a perfect life. That's a great quote. Our affirmation is in our insert. I invite you to read it with me. I live in the now, free from any yesterdays or tomorrows. Now I am happy, free, and complete. This is our time for conscious giving. This is a practice we do every week. If you have a tangible gift you're giving today, I invite you to put it on your heart, send a little extra love, knowing that this goes forth into the world to do good, as we do good right here and right now. As the basket comes back, we will say our conscious giving affirmation. Thank you. Conscious giving affirmation. I am open to give. I am open to receive. I am grateful to be in the flow of life through and as me. Thank you. We'll be singing our closing song, You and Me. Give me 1 second while I adjust our keyboard. I invite you to stand. One life living as you and me.
At the table, read.
One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just want to shout. Woo! One life living as you and me.
One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is.
I'm shining.
Shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just want to shout. Woo! One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is.
What?
'Cause God is all there is.
What?
God is all there is.
Woo! Yeah! Thank you, keyboard. Thank you all for being here this evening. Thrilled to have you again, as always. And in the back, what do we have?
We got snacks. If you come, you get snacks. You gotta get snacks. You gotta show up if you wanna get snacks. Woo!